This is Pete Feenstra on Friday the 17th of June 2011, making a brand new TV series with Alan Clayson called Let's Make a Deal. Only joking. I had to say that because I'm with Alan Clayson, who's a legend. He's a great author, he's a great raconteur, he's a chansonnier, he's a performer that you wouldn't believe, and he invented alternative comedy. He doesn't even realise it, but he's fantastic. He's here tonight at the Boom Boom Club in Sutton. Alan, you're more than welcome. It's great to have you here. You've just been playing with It's a Beautiful Day. You went
I have
down
indeed. They're going on now.
They're on now, but I don't mind missing a little bit just to interview you. You went down an absolute storm. Did it feel good your end?
Yes, it did
just
indeed.
Take my earplugs out.
It did indeed. Yes, I very much enjoyed it. I mean, last night was a bit of a job of work, but I, actually, really sort of, what's the expression? Got into it.
You were very Otway tonight, I thought.
I don't think I was. I don't think I've ever been Otway. I used to be Clayson and the Argonauts, my old group.
Yes.
Used to be booked with him loads and loads of times.
Used to play the Windsor Castle in Harrow.
Well, we used to play the
Harrow Road, I should say.
Well, we used to play the 100 Club a lot, certainly. But I never,
yeah, we don't count that.
I can never see the connection myself. But I mean, I respect John, and he's a friend of mine. But
no, I think it's the fact that you take the comedy of the moment. Not even the comedy, just the power of words, the meaning of life, the meaning of existentialism, all those things that you brought to your life.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I don't know if you actually examine the content of the compositions I was doing. I think you're focusing on the between song continuity. But I mean, the songs I think stand up on their own without that. I mean, I know this is going to sound like I'm making it up, but one of them, the Moonlight Skater, which was composed with Jim McCarty from the Yardbirds.
Great Buddhist.
Yep, that's right. Well, that was covered. That was covered, and I'm not making this up, by the Indonesian winner of Pop Idol.
Well, that means nothing to me because I don't watch television.
Well, I don't watch it in Indonesia, certainly, but
I certainly eat Indonesian food though, Alan. I mean, nasi goreng, it goes a long way.
I suppose
especially
so.
when you've got no money after a gig like this. But anyway, it's great to have you here. What I really want to ask you is, other than Clayson the Argonauts, have you made any solo albums that people might not know
Yes,
about?
I have a solo album called Soiree, which I did in 2 days in a studio in Birmingham back in 1996. And I have a new album out in the autumn called One Dover Soul, which was produced by Reckless Eric in his studio in France.
Yeah, I was going to say he lives near Toulouse somewhere, doesn't he?
The adjoining village to his is called Les Tourettes.
Oh dear.
I don't know why.
Kind of stabs you in the neck.
Well, no, I suppose not. I mean, the people in Les Tourettes seem perfectly ordinary sort of people. There's nothing sort of peculiar about them. I think the syndrome must have come from somewhere else.
Yeah, possibly. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying earlier on, and I mentioned Otway, not particularly because I think you like Otway, but I think you seize the moment and you bring an audience towards you. I mean, a lot of people here tonight would never have seen you before, and the response was great.
Yeah, I mean, every performance is like a leap in the dark, you see.
A bit like life, really.
Well, it's just in the highest traditions of jazz. I have good nights and other nights.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, see, tonight was a great night, and you haven't even realised it yet, but you'll go home and think, well, that was all right.
Well, I lost about half a stone in weight up there.
Yeah,
so I thoroughly recommend it. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend it.
So your alter ego, of course, is as an author, as a biographer, I think I'm correct in saying.
That's correct, and an obituarist.
And an obituarist, yes, which we'll come to. But your books have covered people like the Yardbirds, Roy Orbison, Jacques Brel, which is the new current book, I believe.
Yes, that's right, and I'm actually on the road at the moment with something called Clayson Sings Brel. They actually do other things.
I should know about that because
I know you do.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I didn't realise that Tony Bennett played that place as well.
Yeah,
I bet he didn't have to get changed in the toilet.
He's talking about the Balls and Bubs, which is a famous
Stormy Monday Club. Yeah. I bet Tony Bennett didn't have to get changed in the toilet.
No, but then again, he also didn't have a grand piano that was perfectly pitched.
Oh yes, the Yamaha. Yes, that was very nice.
And we're not being sponsored by any company as we speak here. But anyway, they're the books. Keith Richard, the Yardbirds, Roy Orbison,
Backbeat. Backbeat, the tie-in book to the film, which was a bestseller.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about all this gratuitous boasting.
How did you drift towards, well, two ways. How did you drift towards biographies and later on obituaries?
Well, my literary career began in 1968 when I was in the notorious School Kids Oz.
Yeah.
And then it went into sort of a great void. And then one afternoon I was in a
That was with Richard Neville and
yeah, that's right.
the guy that owns all the computers out there.
Well, I can't remember that, but I mean, I nearly had to go to the Old Bailey over that as a witness.
Really?
I was
They're breaking down the doors, ladies and gentlemen.
But no, and then one afternoon in 1981 I was in a shop in Camberwell, a music shop, buying some strings, when I noticed behind the counter a former member of the Dave Clark Five.
Oh right, Mike Smith?
No, it was Rick Huxley, the bass player. Oh, right. And I did, you know, it's a case of, you know, how the mighty have fallen, and I thought, you know, why isn't anybody recognising this man? And
because Dave Clark bought all the rights to everything on earth, including Ready Steady Go. And
yeah, perhaps. But anyway, the thing is, I cobbled together. I cobbled together an article with Rick Huxley for Record Collector, and my literary career took off from that essentially, and it's branched.
But you have actually got a true love for pop, old time R&B.
Yeah.
What do you, for example, what do you think about the film on Joe Meek?
I liked it.
I forget what it's called. But
it's Telstar.
Telstar.
Yeah, but I didn't like
it. That?
Well, it was pretty good, but I didn't like it as much as the play, which I saw up in West End. In fact, I went twice to that.
Where was that?
The New Ambassadors Theatre, opposite the Ivy, apparently. But anyway, that was really good. I mean,
Michael Caine's old drinking hall.
Well, the bloke that played Joe, Con O'Neill, was really off the scale as an actor, and I'm very pleased he got the lead role in the film as well.
Okay, Alan, we've come to this point. Let's move on to obituaries. How did he come?
Well, that's another. That's another connection with Joe Meek, because I knew the songwriter Jeff Goddard.
Right.
He wrote Johnny Remember Me, and he was also the sort of in-house songwriter at RGM Studios, which was Joe Meek's studio up the Holloway Road.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, Jeff was working as a sweeper-upper in the catering department at the University of Reading, and I came to
home.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, and I came to know Jeff quite well, and then Jeff died very suddenly at the age of 63, and I phoned up the Guardian ostensibly just to report it. And somebody said, why don't you write his obituary as well?
And there it was.
And that's how it all sort of took
And tonight you performed a memorable song about
Lord Sutch. Yeah, that's right.
Which actually really did bring the house down. And
well, yeah, that's actually on a record. Actually, it's on a various artists record called 9x2, an anthology of English chanson.
Who put that out?
Irregular Records.
Oh yeah, Rob Johnson.
That's right, yes.
Arsworth's very own.
Well, no, I used to play keyboards with Lord Sutch, because when Clayson and the Argonauts sort of sundered in 1985, I got a load of jobs in the rank and file of various groups. I mean, for a long time I was Dave Berry's keyboard player, and I produced an album by him, Hostage to the Beat, and then I was...
Oh, you produced it?
Yes, I produced it, yeah, and I wrote a lot of the stuff on it. And then I was...
what was your approach to Dave Berry then as a producer?
Well, I mean, essentially Dave just let me get on with it. I mean, the thing is, Dave's act... I mean,
other than twiddling the mics.
Well, yeah, but these days, on a good night, Dave is as riveting as Marcel Marceau.
No, he's always had that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just kind of weird working with him, because it made me brought me into the orbit of all sorts of people I'd only known as sort of television images when I was at school. And I mean, I've worked with Dick Taylor from The Pretty Things. We sometimes go out as a duo together.
Isle of Wight's very own. Yeah,
and also, talking about the Isle of Wight, this is another resident of the Isle of Wight. I was actually Twinkle's musical director, and I played bass for her,
You all remember these songs out there, I know you do.
Well, yeah, possibly, but I mean, Twinkle, I mean, I chose to play play bass with her because it meant that, you know, I could actually conduct my eye contact rather than being behind a bank of keyboards.
As you were tonight.
Yeah, well, some of the time I was playing guitar as well. But and then I met Lord Sutch at a village fete in Devon, and then and then I went to see him when he was on at Covent Garden.
Oh, right.
Not in Covent Garden, but it was an AIDS benefit.
Right.
And he was performing there on a stage that they set up in the market, and he invited me to play on stage with him, and it was me and members of Howlin' Wolf and the VJs.
Yeah.
And then he
James Taylor. What was he called now?
I can't remember.
Something.
But anyway, after that,
Taylor.
you know, David Sutch sort of invited me to be a sort of a savage, you know, at various junctures, and you know, we became very close friends.
Well, he was certainly a character, a bit like you, really, Alan.
Well,
English, not so much an English eccentric as a creative force, you know, yet to be discovered after all these years.
Well, some people have discovered me.
Good.
But I mean, you know, as it's turned out, I'm sort of better known as an author at the moment.
But is there any truth in the rumour that, you know, what you do on stage is in part due to your knowledge of what's gone before music, eras and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of that in there, certainly. I mean, this evening I performed Perfidia.
Yeah, which is one of your best things tonight.
Well, you mustn't say that because it was a cover.
Yeah, it doesn't
but I mean,
matter,
that
way you did it was great.
That comes from the first time I ever appeared in a semi-professional pop group.
Right.
That was in the Statesman of Sound at Aldershot Abattoir Social Club. Very glamorous life I lead, isn't it?
AASC. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Well, you know, from the Aldershot, whatever it was, social club, Abattoir Social Club, to the Boom Boom Club in Sutton.
Yeah.
You kept the whole thing going down the years.
Yep, that's true.
You know, you've performed all over the place. You've interviewed everybody that's worth interviewing. You've written books about them. I'm just wondering, here we are in 2011 and you seem to be just as enthusiastic as when I first ever saw you in the early 80s.